So BooTube, one of my videos that I just recently recorded, which is that last little bit of my Arrow reaction rant that was supposed to be for episode 9 that I got cut off from, that is uploading at the moment. I'm watching Game Theory right now, and I'm like, you know what? It's been a while since I actually put a theory video. So I'm gonna put record at least 1 to 2 theory videos and probably try to upload them at the same time. And the one I will do, since I'm now currently uploading Arrow, well, the last little bit that got cut off, I was thinking, let's make an Arrow theory video. So for Arrow season 4, for this first half, if you remember correctly, if I remember correctly, you can correct me if I'm wrong on this, like, it was pretty much, I think, the first episode where we get pretty much 6 months later, like, time jump toward the end of the episode. I'm not sure if it was episode 1, but I know it was, like, at least one of the first 2 episodes where, pretty much at the end of the episode, we get, like, a time jump, like, 6 months afterwards, where we see Barry, Oliver. We do see Barry, not gonna lie, but we see Oliver dressed in black, obviously a funeral, because he's standing in front of a freshly covered grave. Like, obviously someone just got recently buried. He obviously attended the funeral, because he's in black, and Barry shows up, and they're all talking, and, like, Oliver's all, like, asking Barry, pretty much, he didn't really ask Barry why he was late. He just pretty much assumed, like, oh, you're late because of Zoom, right? Because he just said Zoom, and Barry pretty much confirms, like, yeah, if it weren't for, pretty much Barry's like, if it weren't for Zoom, I'd probably be here sooner. But they're, like, discussing, and Barry's consoling Oliver, like, are you okay? He's like, I just need to be alone. And obviously, whoever is buried in that fresh grave is someone Oliver cared about, because he does cry a little. And a lot of people were speculating who could possibly be in the grave. And, obviously the choices would be, like, you know, Thea, you know, because, you know, obviously Oliver would cry if his sister died, because, first off, with the whole Queen's Gambit thing, his father shot himself in order for Oliver to survive, so he saw his father's death. He saw his mother's death at the hands of Slade. And, aka Deathstroke. So, basically, his sister is all he has left in his legitimate Queen family, and if she died, obviously, that was one of the things that people assumed, that maybe Thea's the one in the grave. And it also doesn't help to the fact that recently, the guy who plays Roy Harper, Colton Hayes. Was it Hayes or Haynes? I know his name is Colton. He plays Roy Harper. He has recently dropped the ball on people saying, hey, I'm coming back to Arrow. He hasn't specified when, but he says he's coming back to reprise his role as Roy Harper. So, maybe something happens to Thea. Maybe she is the person in the grave, because obviously if Thea died, Oliver would be devastated. That's why he's, like, crying in the scene. And also, maybe Thea's death brings Roy back to Star City. Maybe. But anyway, like, other people that assume, some people thought it might be Laurel. Some people even thought it might be Diggle. Because if you guys remember closely, in the recent half of season 4, we found out that Diggle's brother is alive, and from what people are assuming, is brainwashed by Hive to be a bad guy. And, some people think maybe Diggle's the one in the grave, because maybe Diggle's brother, or maybe something involving Diggle's brother gets Diggle killed. A lot of people are assuming that Diggle might be in the grave, and it might be something to do with his brother. Maybe his brother killed him because he might be brainwashed, or he's legitimately evil. Other than that, they think that maybe Diggle might be in the grave because directly by his brother, or indirectly because of his brother's involvement with Hive. People think it might be Thea, and that's more up there, mainly because of the fact that Colton did say he's coming back to reprise his role as Roy. And a lot of people, though, are speculating the #1 spot in the whole I was about to say the name already. The whole who's in the grave thing, people, number one spot was Felicity. And some of the people are saying, Felicity is that top spot of the person in the grave because, in the beginning of the first episode, you see him and Felicity all happy, and you even see, I think it's the first episode, you even see that he was going to propose to Felicity, but then, Thea and Laurel come, and they're like, we need your help, they bring them back, Team Arrow, and we all see that he hides the ring away from Felicity, and with this recent episode, Dark Waters, with the whole Felicity and Oliver, getting engaged, Oliver popping the question, she's saying yes, they end up in a limousine, and Damien Dark sends people after Oliver again, and they shoot up the limo that they're in, and you obviously see at the end of the episode that Felicity is unfortunately shot, because, Oliver, touches, I don't know where on her body he touches, but he touches a part of her body, and there's, blood, and blood's coming out of her mouth, so she obviously got hurt. I don't know if she directly got shot. Most likely she did. But, this recent episode is hyping more people to think that the person in the grave is Felicity. And, I see what they think it would be Felicity. Hang on, I'm a little too far. But anyway, but here's why I think it's not Felicity. At the moment, I don't think it's Felicity. With Felicity being shot, I honestly can tell you that I think that Felicity is going to survive the shooting because of what we learned from the whole grave thing and the timeline of when Felicity found out about the ring. So let me recap why. The flash forward moment, the one where they have that tiny little time jump where we see Oliver and Barry in front of the grave, the time jump specifically says 6 months later, okay? So obviously, 6 months after the first episode, I believe it's the first episode, you guys could correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe that 6 months later scene was shown during the first episode. So obviously, 6 months, it's legitly canon, 6 months after the first